This video will explain how to convert directly feature dataset into raster format. Now by directly it's meant that we're looking at a one-on-one conversion. There's not going to be any particular interpolation of the surface and its creation. It's going to be taking feature shapes, points, lines, polygons, whatever, and it's going to, as directly as possible, take them and convert them into the cell-based format of raster. And obviously there's going to be some changes along the way. Now, in the view here is a land cover layer for Shawnee County, Kansas. Hey, go Kansas. And well, we're looking at, even though you don't see the labeling here, let me describe it to you. You've got grassland areas, urban zones, water features, and things like that. So that's what all these polygons are depicting. So here's the task. For our analysis, we need to take this land cover data and we need to convert it over to raster. It's done in the following manner, everybody. Please open up our toolbox. I'm going to open it up just by clicking on this icon. You open it up any way you like. I click. And you're going to see that in our toolbox there is a toolbox called Conversion Tools. Please go to Conversion Tools and expand it. And within Conversion Tools, you'll see that one of the options here is to raster. To raster. And expand that. And finally, you'll find that there are a bunch of tools here. Now, 3 of them are dealing with conversion to raster, and you'll see point to raster, polygon to raster, polyline to raster. For the example of this video, we'll be clicking on polygon to raster because we've got polygons for well, representing land cover. Doesn't matter if you're going to be doing this with point or polyline, it's going to be the same thing. So I double click on polygon to raster, and very first request under input features, I am going to select land cover because we want to convert it. Now, this second dialog that you see here, value field, it is asking, okay, for the raster you're going to be creating, what attribute table field will those cells represent? So this is pretty important. Make sure you got this set correctly, or else your raster is going to represent, well, obviously something you don't want. Now the value field for this example is going to be the actual designation of land cover, grassland, you name it. And I'll go ahead and I will select that. It's called Cov class for this example. Now output raster dataset. I created a geodatabase to save this stuff in, so I'm going to send it on over. And just for naming purposes, I'm going to name this land underscore raster. Makes it easier for me to quickly pick it out. Land raster. I'll click save. Now, the next 3 options that you see here, cell assignment type, priority field, cell size, they are optional. The only one that, please explore when it comes to the different settings, but this is just a general video on how to do the conversion. The one thing I'll point out to you though is the very last option here, this dialog, cell size. Going with the default isn't a bad thing unless you have a specific reason. You say, hey, I really need better resolution. Okay, no problem. What you do is, if you want to increase the resolution of the conversion, decrease the cell size value. Now you might say, well, why not do that with every one of them? Here's the problem, is that when you do that, you significantly, or you proportionally, excuse me, say it that way, you proportionally start to increase the file size. So I'm going to go with the default and click OK. And it's thinking. Okay. And now over in the table of contents there is land raster. So what the heck is this? And let me close down our toolbox for a second here. And I'll turn off land cover so you can see it. Aha, look at that. And you'll see that, well, Shawnee County really has a lot of grassland. and that's not a bad thing. Welcome to the Midwest of the United States. Now, this is nominal data. This data that is being represented, there is no magnitude to it. Grassland is not above urban area or water area or anything like that. What would happen if we wanted to create a raster that actually did have magnitude? Well, I'm going to turn on another layer here, and this is block population for Shawnee County. And this is census data from the year 2000. Gosh, it sounds so long ago now when I say that, 2000. But the data is representative of all sorts of things, different ethnicity counts and general population and, well, you name it when it comes to demographics. But what if we wanted to create a raster of the population from the year 2000 for Shawnee County? Well, we do it the exact same way as we did with the other raster. Open up Arc Toolbox, and once again, it's going to be from Conversion Tools, a toolbox, and your next level down is to Raster, and I will select Polygon to Raster. Input features, block population. Value field is going to be population from the year 2000. Output raster dataset. I'm going to send it back to that geodatabase. And this time I will call it pop raster. Yeah, sounds pretty catchy, doesn't it? Okay, and I will leave everything else as it is, and away we go. Okay, now let me turn off block population here. And let me get rid of our toolbox. There. Doesn't that look grim? Black to gray and white. Okay, so every one of these cells that are here that are representative of the different blocks, they're showing their unique values right here. And just like you can with feature data, you can go into the symbology and you can change the appearance. So I'm going to right click on Pop Raster, the new raster that was created. Go to Properties, and under Symbology tab, you're going to see that you can manipulate the color scheme if you want to. And so I'm sure you know the story behind that. And you'll see there's also a couple of other options here. I just clicked on Classified. Now there's a variety of ways you can look at raster data, so please explore a little bit. But I'm picking Classified right now because when it comes to feature data, I think we're all pretty used to seeing the ranges of values. So that's a good way to introduce this. And for the color ramp, well, let's see what we got here. Okay, I'm no master cartography, but oh, here, let me mess with your eyes. It's time for the rainbow, very top. And instead of 5 classes, I'll make it 10. Okay, again, when it comes to feature data, we're all masters of cartography, right? What I'm showing you here right now, you've probably worked with this before. And if not, everybody, please just note that when in ArcMap, under ArcMap Help, when it comes to cartography, there are a lot of really good bits of information there on how to do things like this if you need a review. And I will click OK. Yeah. Well, if you like to wake up in the morning, that's probably the best color scheme. But okay, that was just for demonstration purposes. But please note, everybody, that even though cartographically you see the changes here, the values of those cells did not change. Okay, it's just cartographically the system decided to categorize, generalize different groupings of values. That way you can easily discern those different ranges. And again, I'm pretty sure you know the story behind that. Well, everybody, that is, in general, how you would take a feature data set and directly convert it over into raster format.